Bum 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 bum.
Welcome to Vet Hospitality Commercial Cookery. Let me explain to you a little bit about this subject. VET stands for Vocational Education and Training. Your vocation is your career. So vet hospitality means you are being trained for a career in the hospitality industry. Our class will specialize in commercial cookery. You have the potential to earn 2 qualifications in this subject. Vet subjects like hospitality are Category B subjects and are worth 2 units towards your HSC mark and ATAR. To get your higher school certificate, or HSC, you need to have 8 units. These units come from successful completion of subjects. Vet subjects require you to do 70 hours of work placement as well. To get your Australian Tertiary Admissions rank, or ATAR, you need to have 10 units, and you need to take the HSC exam for those subjects. An ATAR is where you are ranked amongst all the HSC students in New South Wales. Vet subjects are also the same as TAFE subjects, and this course is equivalent to 2 years of TAFE. You will be eligible for a Statement of Attainment towards a Certificate 2 in Hospitality. Now let's look at what we will need for this subject. You'll need to purchase a chef's uniform. The complete uniform costs $75. The complete uniform consists of the hat, jacket, pants, neckerchief, apron, and white buttons. You should plan to wear your jacket, hat, and apron for each practical lesson, but the apron and hat are the minimum required. Full uniform will be required for certain pracs and for functions. You will need to provide and wear the appropriate shoes to class, especially during practical lessons. The appropriate shoes are black, leather, with a sturdy non-slip sole that protects the top of the foot. You will need to bring your laptop to all theory lessons. You will need to access the internet on occasions, and some calculators, revision materials, and PowerPoints will be issued to you electronically. It would also be good to have a USB stick. This does not mean we won't be using the old-fashioned methods of paper and pen. An A4 exercise book would be good for note-taking and for keeping your recipes. It would also be a good idea to have a folder for your workbooks and assignments. Very importantly, you will need to pay your fees as soon as possible. Fees are what we use to purchase the food and other materials we use in class. The fees are $200 for the entire course. Please complete the fee payment form and return it to the teacher by the end of week 1. Your teacher will explain how to fill it out. When you go to work placement, you may be required to have a toolkit. We will give you a toolkit to use for your work placement. You will need to pay a $25 deposit, which will be returned to you when you return the toolkit in good order. So what are we going to learn? We'll study 6 core units, which are about the hospitality industry in general. We'll study 5 strand units, which will focus on commercial cookery skills. And we'll study 3 elective units, which are specialty areas of food preparation. The next several slides you're going to see are from a presentation you'll watch later in the year to help you study for your exams. But they'll give you an overview of the units that you'll be studying. The first step of your preparation is obviously to study. We covered a lot of material, so how do you know what specifically to study? There are 6 compulsory core units in the hospitality course. Most of the multiple choice and short answer questions will be from these units, and one of your extended response questions will focus on one of these units. Let's have a quick overview of each of them. Follow health, safety, and security procedures taught us about how injuries at work can affect many people in many ways. We learned about workplace health and safety, WH&S legislation, duty of care, and employee and employer responsibilities in preventing workplace injuries. We also learned about safe work practices such as lifting and moving items, ergonomics, chemical safety, and many others. We learned about safety signs and personal protective equipment. Follow workplace hygiene procedures taught us about the importance of cleanliness in the workplace to prevent food contamination, which could lead to food poisoning. We learned about both personal hygiene, keeping ourselves clean, and environmental hygiene, keeping the workplace clean. Develop and update hospitality industry knowledge taught us about the many sectors of the hospitality industry, such as accommodation, food and beverage, entertainment, meetings, and travel and tourism. We learned about the different departments such as human resources, reception, maintenance, security, housekeeping, and food and beverage. We learned how and where to look for information in libraries, online, business contacts, unions, etc. We learned about the working conditions in the industry, the awards which tell us the hours of work, rates of pay, and benefits. We learned how to find a job in the hospitality industry. We learned about what skills and attributes employees are looking for, and how to write a resume. We learned about the legal and ethical issues that hospitality industry employees face. Participate in environmentally friendly work practices taught us how to sustain our environment so that our children can enjoy all the resources that we enjoy. We learned about the resources that are used in the hospitality industry and how to manage them. We learned to use energy efficiently, conserve water, and manage our waste. Working with colleagues and customers taught us about the importance of communication and the many ways in which communication occurs. We learned about teamwork and working with other people. We learned about customer needs and expectations and how to greet customers and how to deal with their complaints. Work in a socially diverse environment taught us to understand the diversity of people with whom we work. We learned about the legislation which prohibits discrimination. We learned about what our overseas visitors expect when they travel, and how each culture may have different expectations. We learned about the different religions and about the indigenous people of Australia. We learned ways to communicate with non-English speaking visitors using signs, symbols, and gestures. We also learned where to find help in overcoming cultural barriers. There are 3 strands to hospitality study: accommodation services, food and beverage, and commercial cookery. We studied commercial cookery. There are 5 compulsory units in this strand. One of the extended response questions will focus on one or more of these units. So let's have a brief look at those. Organize and prepare food familiarized us with the various types of equipment that are used in commercial kitchens. We learned about the chef's uniform and the chef's most important tool, the knife, how to use it properly, how to use it safely. We learned about recipes and menus. We learned how to measure ingredients and to check them for quality. We learned about meat, poultry, and seafood, dry goods, dairy goods, fruit, vegetables. We learned about mise en place, getting everything ready before we start to prepare the dish. We learned about precision cuts, workflow plans, portion control, and ways to minimize wastage. Present Food taught us about different types of menus and the categories of items that are found on the menus. We learned about garnishes and how to portion and plate food, and how to choose appropriate crockery and serving dishes. We learned how to display foods, how to set up buffets and create showpieces for food display. We learned how to set a casual table and how to set a formal table. We learned napkin folding. Use basic methods of cookery taught us about the general principles of cookery and different methods that are used to produce different results. We learned about wet and dry methods, the foods that are suitable to use for each, and the appropriate equipment to use. Implement food safety procedures reminded us about food contamination and foodborne illness, and taught us how to use the principles of HACCP to make sure the food that we serve is safe every step of the way. Clean and maintain kitchen premises taught us the importance of keeping our kitchen environment clean. We learned about the correct and safe use of cleaning chemicals, the proper procedures for cleaning and sanitizing all areas of the kitchen and the equipment, and how to handle waste and linen. There are often questions on the exam about another unit that we studied, receive and store kitchen supplies. Receive and store kitchen supplies taught us to check incoming supplies for quality, specifications, and against order and delivery information. We learned to move the stock safely to the appropriate areas. We learned how to store properly, keep stock levels down, and rotate stock. We learned about appropriate storage areas and appropriate temperatures. We learned about the shelf life of various foods. The other units that we studied, prepare appetizers and salads, prepare sandwiches, prepare stock soups and sauces, and prepare vegetables, eggs, and farinaceous dishes, do not often have questions on the exam. Hospitality is a competency-based course. You will be assessed as to whether or not you are competent. Either you are or you aren't yet competent. For example, I can't give you a mark of 70 on dicing an onion. Either you can or you can't cut it correctly. There will be 4 main ways that you will be assessed. Your assessment schedule and the appeals process will be given to you and explained by the teacher. Your participation in classwork will be assessed through observation, checking workbooks, and questioning. There will be a total of 7 assignments that you'll need to complete. Some of the work will be done in class. Some will involve working with others, and some will be individual. There will be 4 exams: a practical exam worth 10%, a written exam for preliminary worth 20%, a written exam for Year 12 half-yearly worth 30%, and the HSC trial exam worth 40%. These are the marks that will be used as your HSC mark. Your practical work will allow you to demonstrate your competency and understanding of many of the strand units, as well as your ability to work with others and your ability to keep the work area clean and safe. In addition to assessments, you will have the opportunity to learn new skills and see many examples of hospitality and tourism. We hope to go on several excursions throughout the year. Each one will provide a different experience in food selection, food flavors, food presentation, and marketing. You'll have the opportunity to practice your skill as we prepare items for morning teas and cafes. And you'll be able to show off what you can do as you cater for various functions. These could be formal functions such as a sit-down 3-course meal, or festive occasions like the Melbourne Cup or Christmas lunch, or large-scale food production such as the family picnic day. It'll be your responsibility to find out what work was missed if you're absent from class, whether it be in the hospitality class or in another class due to hospitality commitments such as functions, incursions, or excursions. There are a couple of points about entering the class that will help make our classroom learning experience pleasant for everybody. Be on time to class and ready to go. Much time is wasted hiring aprons and settling down. Get everything you need out of your bag and place your bag in the cage before you come into the classroom. This includes your laptop, paper, pens, workbooks and assignments, money, water bottle, etc. While you will have the opportunity to eat and drink in the classroom, we must be aware and remain aware of classroom hygiene. You can bring a water bottle into class and fill it from the filtered tap. We do not provide cups, but usually we will have bottled water for sale. Bring or purchase a container for the food you make during your practical lessons. If the kitchen is clean and there's time, you'll be permitted to eat the food in class. Otherwise, take it with you and eat it at recess or lunch. It's very important to keep the classroom clean. Practicals should be clean as you go. Sharing equipment will reduce the amount of washing up at the end. Be aware of time management. Plan to have your food ready with at least 20 minutes left for cleaning and assessment. Many jobs need to be done on practical days. Scraping and rinsing, stacking and washing, drying and packing away, benches and floors, stoves and sinks. Other areas need to be kept clean and tidy as well. Shelves, storerooms, fridges, garbage areas. This is your kitchen and work area. Be proud of it and keep it clean and tidy. So welcome to hospitality. Learn a lot. Ask questions. Try something new. Together, we can make this a fun and enjoyable experience as you begin to develop the skills of a professional chef.